Gamers of Reddit, what is the most time-consuming thing you have done in a game?
Not me fault says in Dark Souls 2, there's a boss called Mitha, the hated Gorgon lady, whose boss chamber is filled with poison that both damages you and heals her, making the fight extremely difficult. However, there's a very non-obvious way to clear the room of poison, by burning a windmill elsewhere in the dungeon. I was a devout sunbro, a disciple of Soleil of Astora to my core, and so spent hours assisting other players with the boss. Each time I entered an instance where the poison hadn't been dealt with, I would motion for the host to follow me instead of heading into the boss chamber. Some ignored me, fearing I was a troll, but for those who followed I would lead them to the windmill and, using only gestures, teach them how to burn it so we could fight Mithra on a more level playing field. It was a really fun, immersive bit, not just acting as an extra body in fights but actually teaching the host something new about the game.
It is Bequest says played Conquest on BF3 on a server with 10k tickets.
Sausage on Toast says my son had Lego Worlds but had nothing unlocked. He liked it but was disappointed that everything was unavailable to use. I stayed up all night and unlocked everything for him. His face was a picture.
Seb says following Ron from HP cause he ran faster than my walking speed but slower than my running speed. Stu Stuffed Bunny says stones of BARNCIAH. First I found over half. Then I used a fac and ended up revisiting a ton of places I already cleared. Then one was missing. Then I used the console command to teleport myself directly to all of their locations. Then one was still missing. Then I used the console command to make a bunch appear in my inventory. I still somehow have 24 stones. I quit.
Sketches from Midget says breeding and racing different Chocobo in order to get a specific breed that could run across water and up mountains so that I could get a summon materia in FF7. But it was the only way I was ever going to beat Sephiroth.
TGND03 says making 100 iron daggers in a row took a while.
Magenta Bean Angel says shiny hunting in Pokemon.
Boosness Hero saying hi says anytime I attempt a 100% playthrough, the worst one that comes to memory is Oblivion. That game was a janky beautiful piece of work, but a total to try and complete 100% is awful. Boosness Hero saying hi reply side note, I would like it if they remastered it because I would totally do it again.
DRLQNR says driving realistically from one side of the city to the other in GTA 5, also acting like a normal civilian and not running around and shooting people down.
Anozaris Rex says anything to do with The Sims, but I tend to create the family, design the house, which takes up the majority of the time, and then play them for an hour before getting bored and going on to the next.
Niblack says finding all the bloody feathers in Assassin's Creed 2. Rapper Manners says mining in Minecraft. Game Frame says once spent about a week on Terraria grinding to get one item, then only to get it after giving up on it. It was a weird moment.
The Nox93 says literally anything in Crusader Kings 2. I like to start as a count, so it usually takes 50,100 in-game years for it to get exciting.
Dick Waffle says loading screens.
Photosynthesis Day says killing the Nazi sniper in the Vendetta mission on Call of Duty. Well, that war on veteran while Riznov is yelling bullshit at you the whole time.
XNDR says getting 1000 hours on Rainbow Six Siege. Can't remember how long it took though, sorry. Not me fault says 1001% in Binding of Isaac. Surprisingly don't regret it at all, it was a great time and I'm still proud of it.
Idiot Lettuce says in Rust I built this massive fortress, and I decided I needed some art on the walls. I wasn't sure what to paint on the canvases I placed everywhere until I had this amazing idea. I would remake classic paintings, and all people would be replaced with a penis. It took me a whole day of doing nothing but painting on virtual canvases. I did have some pretty great art for my fortress afterward though.
Oliver Boy 69 says completed Minecraft.
Entity Complex says getting 99 fishing on Osras. Armored Bagel says playing marathon games of Civ 5. Some of them take more than 20 hours.
Rise Effect ZZ says farmed Hyperius and Terramorphous. If you know you know.
Moshi Mind 12 says doesn't matter what game but readying after you fail a level saying last time or I got it this time, you will probably just waste another half an hour or so.
Banana Without Peel says basically any game that could be played stealthily. I would play it stealthily, undetected, not killing anyone if possible. No bodies found, if any, no alarms, no nothing, just like I was never there. And it's kinda hard to do that in games that didn't have stealth in mind when they were developed. Also, there's this game called Thief Gold. It's pretty old but I love it. Stealth game ubs. I have like 200 hours on it and I'm still trying to complete it. 100% loot and 0% knockouts, alarms, kills.
Uni Jellyfish says pretty recent, but with the new update in Minecraft that added pillagers. When I got my first village, I wanted to make sure it was safe inside and out. My idea was just make a stone brick wall, cause with the new stone cutter you don't lose anything in the process and it will look nice. Except this is a pretty large village and collecting all the stone to make a 412 block high wall around it was more than I thought it would be. It's not even going to be my biggest project, but it helped me realize I am willing to put the time into it. Wall is finished now and I can turn the village into a resource farm, my first base, and make it into a small medieval village. Now let's see how long that all takes me.
Jomaist says building a skyscraper with interior in Minecraft.
Fryanthemon says the latter in MGS3 multiple playthroughs add up.
Communist Colorado says I had a 3-hour Uno match compared to my friend's 7-hour Uno match. I look like a virgin.
Dnex Durkome says play Destiny.
Gullible Taste says trying all of those Skyrim mods.
Sausage on Toast says followed the damn train.
Lizardman 3081 says fishing for legendary trout in RDR2. So many damn bluegills bit that lure. Jan Hits a Weekway says fighting a particularly annoying AE in Stellaris. The whole series of wars was fought over one stretch of space, where the AE had very nearly destroyed a nation, who after the war immediately asked for my protection, which was unhesitatingly granted because we were friends and my empire's history was filled with this stuff. First war took 30 years of back and forth fighting. My fleets were not as strong as the AE's, but he had 3 and I had 12, so I was able to win my protectorate's territory back. Second war was ended after 3 years because of the Praethoran Scourge. Borders did not change. Third war was during the crisis. Fortunately they were on the same third of the galaxy until the Scourge wormholed to the other side. I captured his home system and planet, cracked the capital, 25 Tile Jaya world. But I needed to teach him a lesson. Fourth war ended the AE after another 20 years of fighting. I had about 16 fleets of 250k at the time, but I only used 5 of them to hit him because I was mopping up the after-crisis Scourge and mentions were rising with the other superpower, a 4-member federation that owned half the galaxy. These wars, in addition to the Federation Wars, are my galactic unification wars and in all took 250 years of back and forth warfare.
Darth Vader 2XL says in GTA SA there was this mission with the lowriders where you had to make your car dance, and it required to press your special direction keys, random binds on keyboard while showing you arrows. I must be gave the mission at least 30 tries across 2 months until 10-year-old me figured out that the binds were not the arrow keys on the keyboard and were something entirely different. I did go about helping my friends who were stuck on that mission by editing their keybinds. Ah, good times.
Mr. 000 says moving from point one place to another in Red Dead Redemption 2.
BOOKWYRM 5000 says Lore Master Achievement in WOW, leveling every Pokemon to 100 in Leaf Green, including stages of evolution as their own Pokemon, and playing Diablo 3 on PS4 so much I have almost 800 Paragon points.
Fartfig Newton says traveled to a faraway star system in Elite Dangerous that took about a week, only to look around for maybe 30 minutes and head back.
Walrus Care says IV and egg move breeding in Pokemon before they made it easier. Hundreds of hours spent.
Yakunoi says mined all the way to Bedrock.
Mario Kart from Hell says getting pilot license in GTA San Andreas. It took me ages to complete that mission.
Rockfalling says discovered Factorio.
Zinlustnam says training Pokemon.
Zvevikinks21 says GTA 5 loading on HDD.
TTHORE99 says trying to chop every tree in the forest nothing game. AoE2. Capca says I spent about 200 days of my life maxing out every skill in RuneScape. over the course of around 2 years.
The prompt father says taming a high LVL Dino with number 2x taming speed in Ark Survival evolved.
Onyx Raptor 9 says getting 100 smithing in Skyrim. All those daggers.
Unstable Quasar says playing Warframe.
Magic Ty says played a game of zombies solo for 7 hours on Black Ops 1. Couldn't take it anymore and turned it off. Homstvent says I flew New York to Paris in Microsoft Flight Simulator. So much water.
Terrant Corin says spending literally days trying to beat off enough Cars in Bloodborne. God damn that butterfly bastard.
Overlord Brandon says farming multiple relic weapons in Final Fantasy XI. And X200B, first, you need to get to rank 6 in any of the starter missions. Not hard, not too horribly time consuming. And X200B, then you need to defeat the bosses in the 4 Dynamis zones for each city. Dynamis was an alternative reality where the best men won the war that is referenced in the storyline. And X200B, once the 4 cities are completed, you need to beat the Dynamis Glacier zone that has a boss that spams death. And I don't believe you need to beat the final Dynamis zone, but you need access to farm some needed items. And X200B, now that the relic weapon quests can be unlocked, the first thing you need is a base weapon that is dropped in Dynamis. These weapons do almost no damage and have a horribly long delay. And X200B, get that weapon, and there is a goblin you need to speak with. He'll tell you what items he needs to upgrade the weapon. These items are usually an item that is crafted from a Dynamis drop by someone with a very high level of skill in a craft. You'll also have to pay this goblin 300-500 Dynamis currency. And X200B, wait a day and get your slightly upgraded weapon. And X200B, to upgrade again, the goblin will want 3 weapons that are the same type as the one you're upgrading, and 1,500 Dynamis currency pieces. And X200B, wait some more time to get your upgraded weapon, and the goblin will want an item that is a pain to get. And X200B, you'll need to head to the Dynamis Glacier Zone and kill a specific enemy to get a drop to spawn a monster that has a 33% chance to drop the item you need. Trade that item and around 6,000 Dynamis currency pieces to the goblin. And X200B, for the final upgrade, you need 2 drops from the final Dynamis zone. 1 drop semi-regularly from a dragon enemy. The other is similar to the previous item needed, where you need an item to spawn an enemy that has a chance to drop the item you need. And X200B, you'll need to take those items, the weapon, and 10,000 Dynamis currency pieces to a somewhere in the world to get the fully upgraded level 75 relic weapon. And X200B, it's a lot of farming, especially when you figure that you'll get around 100-200 Dynamis currency each hour of farming. And X200B, but the level cap has been increased to 99. Now there are trials to get those relic weapons to level 99. I remember most of them involving killing several 100 enemies of a specific type with a weapon skill. And X200B, then, to get the weapon to a level 119, you need to pay an NPC 10,000 of a specific item, which will set you back a ton of time, or about 100 million gil, the regular currency in FF11. And X200B, I did this 4 times.
Suamo94 says building a base in the forest. Man, cutting those trees is easily the most time-consuming thing in gaming history. Edit. Okay, the second most time-consuming. The first would be finding out you have to plug the controller in the second port in Metal Gear Solid 1.
Vondras1993 says the entire game of RuneScape.
Doomridge 7734 says grinding, mining and blacksmithing in WoW. Vanilla TBC. Rory Rabido says cooked food in Bob.
CV04 Kite says farming gold in AC Origins. Quick travel to a certain save point, ride a horse and kill 3 groups of bandit, quick travel to another save point near an enemy fort, clear the fort, repeat. Or doing the secret dungeon in FFXV. I started it at 1 AM. Holy shit, I didn't even know it would take that long. Just trying to jump and clear the puzzles, trying again, all while not knowing how long it will take. I didn't want to stop cause I thought I almost reached the end a few times in that godforsaken dungeon. Took me around 4 hours to clear it.
INDSGZ says farming metal on official ARK servers or trying to reach any 99 on RuneScape.
Mutant Rot says the intro cutscene that you can skip.
Anoxia17 says finding a bloody moose in Red Dead Redemption 2 to unlock the zoologist and skin deep trophies. Spent literal days searching and finally found one in the tall trees area. Filled it full of express rounds from my bolt action rifle in celebration.
Calligram says getting my epic gamer friends to stop playing outside and get on.
Sam Reed says I built a factory in Factorio.
Acid Fear says one time in RuneScape back in the day, me and my friend Hunter a bunch of salamanders, and stood in an empty sales stall in Port Sarim for the entirety of the next day, trying to sell them to other players.
Tasty Illusion says, have you ever tried building a mansion in Minecraft by yourself and in one sitting? Yes, I'm serious. It's more tedious than grinding in Pokemon or Earthbound, and it is way more annoying than dying in Dark Souls over and over. Try and do it and then you'll see at least it looks nice in the end.
Sir Rutherford says all legendary weapons to full power in Final Fantasy X 200 consecutive lightning bolt dodges, but the butterfly game for Chimeries might have taken even longer.
T-Spiller42 says mining for days.
Not all Altmare says looking for mods, patching them, making them work, figuring out which one is crashing my game, etc.
Jekwitten says getting my team, and a few other Pokemon, to LVL 100 in Gen 4 and 5.
Raker PL says farming resources in Warframe and X200B, BTW it was actually really fun and I 100% recommend Warframe, try it, it's free.
Suspicious Prism says getting to Pirate Legend on Sea of Thieves. Takes a few months for most people. The grind is real.
Underwater Bob says I used 2MUD. In short, it's text-based online role-playing. It can get incredibly grindy. Like thousands of hours grindy. Basically, you get to a certain level increasing skills along the way, then remote which is resetting your level to 1. But keeping some or all of the skill points you earned. Then, you can choose a new class and level new skills, or choose the same and level other skills you neglected. Some mods will have many classes and skills. The most amount of time I spent on a single character was 300 hours and that was only a few remotes. Some people will do this many times over. There are still quite a few active mods if anyone wants to lose any free time they might have. /r/MUD.
Frontlinbridge Soundjoy says grinding in GTA V.
Smorg 125 says got 99 Slayer in RuneScape.
Vanilla 5 says mining in Minecraft when you can't find a cave so you have to make a network of tunnels.
Extran Dark 9 says played Dark Souls 3. It has literally consumed my soul. I am an atheist. But this game made me say oh, God, and holy fuck more than I had ever said before. I have died and repeated so many times.
Stiaki Steve says playing Destiny.
Concern says trying to pull all rare blades in Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Of course it's Patroka who is being difficult.
Navy Blue Sashi Roll says in Sonic Unleashed. PS3, there are hub worlds, entrance stage hubs and of course, the stages themselves. But I'm not talking about the way they are designed, rather the things you collect in them. A dreaded collection medal system. Basically there are sun and moon medals you have to collect to progress via a leveling system with the amount you collect, such as 15 for level 2, 30 for level 3, 45 for level 4, 60 for level 5, 80 for level 6 and 120 for level 7. So sometimes I had to do multiple runs of different stages and thoroughly search through the hub worlds for these fucking things. Before you ask, yes, you have to get up to level 7 near the end of the game and it sucks so much. It would take more than an hour in each play session to search for them. And GT it's even worse when you go back to the Eggmanland hub world and see that you only needed level 1 to access that nightmarish level. It kills me every time I think about it. And LT Unleashed spoiler.
Imatica 12 says wasting almost 2,000 hours of my life on League of Legends.
Wabba says PvP rank grind in vanilla WoW.
Electric Thunder 12 says got my magic up to level 40 just to teleport around RuneScape. Smithing to make money takes a while too.
Takafort says emerald and ruby weapon. Funky Blue says the RuneScape grind to level up all my skills.
Nichels 924 says you ever play OSRS? The entire game is time consuming on a grindy level.
Velvet Thunder 11789 says okay, this is a game I remember fondly from my childhood, but I'm not sure how many will be able to relate, but the game was Viva Pinata on Xbox 360. I was a kid with no internet at the time and had no knowledge of all the game's secrets, so I had to figure it all out by myself as I built this amazing garden and captured all of the pinatas I wanted. Pritztails were my favorite. This took me weeks and weeks of work, but it was all nothing compared to what was about to come. I eventually found out through the stories that the old man tells you about a dragon pinata, and this blew my mind, but again I was completely internetless, so I didn't know you had to have the miners dig in the garden to get the egg. I didn't know it was completely RNG if they would dig it up, and when they finally did, it was only through a pure guess that I got my chicken pinata, Cluckless, to hatch the egg. This was great, and I was in awe of this little baby dragon pinata that I had at long last discovered, but I could never figure out how to mature it. Wasn't till a year later, when we finally had internet, that I finally got a guide for it and was able to mature him. To this day I have that game save on an old Xbox 360 memory card and I cherish it.